For this next lo-fi effect, we are going to take a look at distortion, and I'm going to refer back to Mr. Charles Maines and something he told me.
Interesting because the we had a Randy Tom quote that we lived by on that movie, which was distortion equals art. One of Randy has literally thousands of quotes that are just it's like he's a Shakespeare of film of aesthetic, you know. And distortion equals art is absolutely one of his, I think, most impressive commentaries. And it got to the point where we would find these the strongest wind sound you can, it's like a recording of hurricane or whatever. And I remember certainly for some of the stuff I developed, I would be processing it with like 40 dB of limiting in L1 and then do it again. Literally have two L1s, and I mean because this was very early on using plugins. And just essentially it was just distortion. It was just, I mean, it would undulate, because of the source material, but it was undulating distortion as opposed to anything even remotely identifiable as wind.
So with that in mind, I'm going to try to recreate some tornado style effects or some just very low undulating distortion. So let's give it a shot. I've gone through my library and found a few sound effects of trains. So I'm just going to slowly add them in one by one. Next, I'm going to add in the EQs. So for the EQs, I'm going to have some real drastic ones on here. Next, I'm going to sum all these together and just overdrive them best I can. We're going to drive the gain up, and then we're going to limit them. We're also going to bust them out a second channel. We're going to add some more EQ. We're going to add some clip distortion, some more limiting, some tremolo. We're going to limit it again, and then just for taste, add a touch of reverb. So as you can see, I'm just absolutely crushing some trains, running them through multiple limiters, messing with the gain staging, adding a touch of reverb, and I think I've come up with a fairly convincing low wind undulating noise that, add a couple of Doppler shifts to it, I bet you could probably pass off as hurricanes or tornadoes. So I'd like to, very special thanks to Mr. Charles Maines for this inspiration coming up with this effect. But that is one way to use distortion as a usable lo-fi effect.